In the design phase, we're going to turn our planning and analysis into a structured learning strategy. Our two inputs here are going to be, of course, other documents from previous steps, that of the project information document and our analysis document. Here again, we're going to fill out a form that's going to assist us in the kind of information that we're going to need, such as the instructional methods, modalities, structure, rollout, and evaluation plan. With the data from this form and the two input documents, N8N is going to turn the notes that you put into the form into a templated and well-written AI-generated design document. It will also pull from the organizationally defined terms database to add definitions to your form input selections that will be displayed in your document. In Notion, you're going to be able to review this document, make any changes that are necessary before triggering an email off for stakeholder approval. At the end of this phase, we're going to have an approved design document that blueprints the instructional methods, modalities, structure, rollout, and evaluation plan in preparation for our next step in the ADDIE workflow. Now that we've reviewed that, let's get into our workflow and create our design document. So far for our workflow, we have created a project workspace within Notion. We have created a project details document that has all of our project information in it. And we've created a couple versions of our analysis document. So now the next step in this is to go down here to the design section and create a design document according to the ADDIE creation workflow. To do this, we need to pick an analysis document that we are going to base our design document off of. In this case, we're going to go with version 2. So let's go ahead and open that, and then we're going to click on this link here, Create Design. So here is our design document creation form. This is the document we're going to need to fill out for the AI to create us that templated design document that we're going to use to send to stakeholders for approval. This form looks a little bit different than other forms that we've used, and that's because it already has information pre-filled out for us. So it has a Notion project ID and an analysis Notion ID right there. That's to connect this design document to these two records that we have. It also has other fields that have been populated for us, as you can see here. Now, the information that's getting pre-populated in this form is actually coming from our project. So if we look at our project right here, you can see these are some of the fields that we had already put into our original form to be able to create our project, and they're here, and it gets pre-populated into this form so that you don't have to go through and copy the fields over. It does it all for you. But it does give you the ability that if the scope of the project changes, then you can come in here and you can change what these selections are. Now, I've gone through here and filled out the missing drop-down selections and filled out these text fields with the answers to these questions. And I just want to go through all of the information that's being collected in this form so that you can get an idea of what is needed to create this design document. So we have the training type, the training content standards. That is telling the stakeholders the quality of content and the intended purpose of this piece of training content. The delivery method, the primary learning modalities, the learning modalities overview, duration of training, training session, rollout and support strategy. We have learner adoption activities, the evaluation approach, and then we have all 5 levels here of the Kirkpatrick evaluation framework. Now, this particular form has a lot of options to choose from, so make sure that if there is any confusion, then you can go up here and click on this link here, and that's going to take you to the Bookstack definitions page where it's going to have all of these definitions all outlined there. And remember, those are the terms that are being used by the AI. So if you're looking at those terms, then you can be sure that you and the AI are on the same page and interpreting those terms the same. So with that form filled out, I'm going to go down here and submit this form. With that submitted, it has triggered the workflow. So let's go back into Notion and see it working. So now that we're here in Notion, let's scroll down to the design section of our project workspace, and we're going to have our design document show up here. So you can see here that the document has been created, and if we click on that, we have a bunch of fields that are getting populated here. And if we scroll down here, it's created for us our full design document there. If we take a look at our design document, you're going to see that it has taken our drop-down selections and added in full definitions to those selections. The way that this is happening is that the automation workflow is looking into our vector store of learning and development terms and is pulling in all of these definitions. Providing definitions at this step is really important because you don't want to overwhelm your stakeholders with terms and L&D jargon that they don't understand. Just like the analysis document, you can go back to the original form submission and make some changes to this document, and it will regenerate for you and keep the same version number, or you can create a whole new version. To do that, you click on this link right here, the update or version up. That's going to take you to the original form submission that you made in NoCodeDB. You can make your changes to any of your field selections here. You can save it. It's going to show you a history of all of the changes, and then you can update or version up by clicking on these buttons. And lastly, once you've gone through and you've reviewed your document, you can click on this link right here, and that's going to create an email draft for you in your email client where you can send it out to stakeholders for approval. There's a lot of similarities in the method for setting up your analysis document as you do with your design document, and so I'm just touching on some things lightly that I've already gone through in the analysis document workflow. Now that we've generated our design document, we can now move to the next phase of building an outline of topics for our training.